child's been asking you about these scrubs.
Silencio! Ungawa! What's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, aka Mazuma TV, man. Back at y'all with some more boxing talk. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive night. I hope y'all having a great weekend overall, man. Back at y'all with some more boxing talk. We gotta speak about what transpired today, man. It was a good night of boxing. In all honesty, we see some good performances. And in my opinion, we see some disappointing performances. So we definitely going to talk about it. We're going to talk about Tevin Farmer, coming up short again versus William Zepeda, and what I thought went wrong on Tevin Farmer's part. We're going to talk about Brian Norman knocking out Derek Cuevas. You know what I mean? Third round stoppage. Now we're going to talk about Bruce Carrington getting, I believe, a third round stoppage as well, and calling out the champions at 126 pounds. And shortly afterwards, we're going to get into some open boxing topics, man. Shout out to everybody that's in the building so far. If y'all can hit the like button as soon as y'all come in, that'll be very much appreciated. Coffee Plant, what up? Great Gambino, what up? Agent 86 in the building, forever dedicated. What up? He said, how you doing? I'm all right, man. A little bit of a shitty day. I ain't even going to lie to you, but, it is what it is. Not every day going to be, too good to you. You know what I'm saying? Justin Jackson, what up? Orlando Finney, what up? I ain't heard from you in a while. Finney, am I tripping? I hope you're doing well, man. You and your family, man. But yeah, man, Tevin Farmer, William Zepeda. Tevin Farmer luckily got that rematch after that controversial first fight. And the fight was taking place in Mexico. So I already knew that the odds was already in William Zepeda's favor. He just had to make the fight competitive. You see what I'm saying? I gave you guys, pretty much the keys to victory in terms of, what Tevin can do to really increase his likelihood of winning the fight. And one of the things that I said is that he has to continuously use his lateral movement and just box this dude, because sitting in front of William Zepeda with the high volume puncher that he is does not make sense. You see what I'm saying? Tevin Farmer was going around saying the way you beat a pressure fighter is you sit in the pocket and, pretty much push them back. And, that could work to a certain extent because there are fighters who don't know how to fight going backwards, and a lot of them happen to be pressure fighters. But Tevin Farmer, in my opinion, doesn't have the punch volume necessary, in my opinion, and he doesn't have the punching power to really discourage William Zepeda. You see what I mean? I seen he actually had rocked William Zepeda in the 12th round, so Tevin got some respectable pop, but not anything where it's going to back Zepeda off of the block and discourage him from taking chances. You see what I'm saying? So I was watching the fight, man, and I was really, really hoping that Tevin Farmer didn't resort to the things in the first fight that pretty much gave him that L. You know what I'm saying? And that was just sitting in the pocket, waiting too long, and allowing Zepeda to implement his style in the fight. And that's exactly what Tevin Farmer does, in my opinion. Now, let's not get it wrong. Tevin Farmer had a lot of good moments from what I've seen. He was boxing well, and when he was actually using his lateral movement, it really exposed how slow Zepeda's legs were and his inability to cut off the ring as well. I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. Tevin Farmer's feet were a lot faster, you know what I mean? And it was very apparent in the ring. But the problem was, Tevin wasn't doing it enough. It wasn't consistent enough, and maybe it was the hellacious body shots that he was taking from William Zepeda, which I also said was a key to victory for William, for real, for real. Having to just go. I said all William Zepeda got to do is just be himself, because he's not gonna go outside of that, realm. You know what I'm saying? That's who he is, and that's who he's always gonna be. You feel what I'm saying? So I just said that he needs to be himself. He needs to let his hands go and apply that pressure and outwork Tevin Farmer, and that's exactly what he did. You know what I'm saying? And he did the same shit that he did in the first fight, man. That's what was disappointing. Allow Zepeda to get too many moments, sitting in the pocket way too long. I don't know if it's a fatigue issue with Tevin Farmer. I don't know if it's just a lack of discipline and just wanting to switch shit up instead of just being consistent with what works. I don't know what the fuck is Tevin Farmer's problem, bro. You know what I'm saying? And look, like I said, there's always going to be a competitive fight because Tevin has skills. He's slick. You know what I'm saying? He got good counter punches, and he has enough pop to, snap Cepeda's head back, give him a bloody nose, and Tevin Farmer was showing dog. You know what I'm saying? In that 12th round, he kind of disappointed me as well because he had started off. He came out guns blazing a little bit, letting his combinations go, and he rocked William Cepeda. He rocked him. You see what I'm saying? And he sees Zepeda actually take a back step. That's how hurt, that's how rocked Zepeda was. That he's usually come forward, come forward, come forward. And then he got hit by a clean fucking shot from Tevin Farmer. He actually went on the back foot a little bit to fucking reassess what happened and get his bearings back. And the whole time, what's Tevin Farmer doing? Like just letting the clock go by. No urgency at all. You know what I'm saying? I had the impression in the beginning that he was going to switch gears and really just give the last 3 minutes everything he had, but he did not do that. He stepped on the gas for a little bit and then just went into autopilot after the fact and completely let that round go by without putting like a real stamp on it. You see what I'm saying? So very disappointing on my end. I thought that Tevin Farmer would have taken this opportunity to actually switch some things up and bring out a whole new side of him and incorporate more things into his game plan. But this was much of the same, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And what's that definition? They said that like doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is a definition of insanity. I've heard that before, and that was the quote that came to my mind when looking at this rematch against Tevin Farmer. The fact that you uh the fact that you took a similar approach in the first fight, regardless of whether you thought you won or not, you knew that you had to do something different in order to get the victory. You see what I'm saying? And you went and you resorted to the same things that cost you in the first fight, and you over here raising your hand as if you won, bro. There was no way that they was gonna give you the fight. There was no way. Did you make it competitive? Yeah, you made it competitive. You made it competitive. I'll give you that. But being competitive is not enough for you to get the W. You're going up against a Mexican fighter in Mexico. You got other Mexican fighters. You got Burchell and all these motherfuckers out there. Bro, it's a pro Mexican crowd. Judges have shown, in my opinion, to be influenced by crowds at certain points in time. Like, that all the odds are against you. You would think that you would bring something totally different to the table, and you don't. So it was disappointing, man. Along with that, Tevin Farmer had some series of unfortunate events as well. They say he hurt his shoulder. They say he hurt his hand in the fight. So I commend him for being able to get through the injury and still put up a competitive fight. But regardless, man, I don't know, man. I didn't like. I wasn't a fan of Tevin Farmer's performance tonight. I really wasn't. I really wasn't. But one thing I'm gonna say about Zepeda is this, y'all. Shout out to the 19 people that's in the building. Let's get the likes up. We only got 9 likes. Oh man, y'all not fucking with y'all boy today, man. Come on, man. Let's get him up. Let's get him up. Lorenzo, what up? Simba Boxer says Shakur will cook Zepeda bad style matchup. We all know that. But let's actually get into that. Who's Farmer's coaches? I think it's like Coach Mustafa and Coach Chino. But look, man, I'm gonna tell y'all this about Zepeda. Although I thought he won and all that good shit, I see exactly why Zepeda and his team do not want any smoke with Shakur Stevenson. You feel what I'm saying? I told y'all initially when he had picked Tevin Farmer for the first fight that this was going to be his measuring stick to see how well he could do against Shakur Stevenson. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's gonna give him a good indication on how he will fare with that style in the ring. Because Tevin Farmer is not on Shakur Stevenson's level, but they have some things in common in terms of being quick southpaws with good reflexes, slick defense, and shit like that. So smart, calculated move from Golden Boy, Zepeda and his team and shit like that. And they seen in the first fight, Zepeda get knocked down and shit like that, that they needed to reassess some things. So before they go into the Shakur Stevenson smoke, they're gonna run this rematch back with Tevin Farmer, see what they learn from it, and then just get that more experience under their belt to get ready for Shakur Stevenson, because that's most likely the fight that they're gonna take eventually. You see what I'm saying? But Cepeda's slow ass feet Him being only able to punch when his feet are planted and not being able to cut off the ring with guys who happen to be more athletic and have quicker feet than him, you will not stand a chance in hell. A chance in hell against Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson will run up the motherfucking scorecards on Zepeda, bro. I don't know if he hurts Zepeda. I don't know. I don't know if he drops Zepeda. I don't know if he stops Zepeda. But what I'm telling you, Zepeda's not winning a single fucking round against Shakur Stevenson. I don't give a fuck what anybody says, unless he somehow hurt Shakur or he gets Shakur to run into a shot. But that's very hard to see because Shakur he don't get into taking risk and making dumb little mistakes. You see what I'm saying? 120, 108, Shakur Stevenson all the fucking way. Zepeda knows that, his team knows that, which is why they're not really in any type of rush to fight Shakur Stevenson, even though it's for the WBC lightweight title of the world. They'll rather go a different direction and try the other champions in the weight class that they could have better chances against. You feel what I'm saying? Shakur Stevenson, he's not gonna take any risks. If he gotta pepper you up with a fucking jab or a left hand or two and get the fuck out of the way and use his legs for 12 straight rounds and have you fall frustrated, that's what he's gonna do. He don't give a fuck to entertain the crowd. He don't care about the crowd booing. It's all about him getting that dub at the end of the day, and that's Zepeda's kryptonite. I can already tell, just based off of what I've seen in this fight. You know what I mean? So this is easy pickings for Shakur, and you could smell the doubt within themselves when it comes to Shakur Stevenson. And this goes all the way back to when Coach Panda, who's Zepeda's coach, um, before Shakur fought Padley, and even before the Haratunyan fight, how the way Coach Panda was so respectful of Shakur Stevenson and how they really was not looking forward to that fight. I always was like, he's either being very respectful and just is just a respectful guy overall, or he just shook. You know what I'm saying? Or he just shook of that style and wants to avoid it altogether. And I think it's the latter. I think that they understand that styles make fights, and that's a terrible style to go up against. So Peter would rather go up in there with a motherfucker who, is going to give him the opportunity to hit them. And, Tevin Farmer has some good lateral movement, but it's not consistent like Shakur's. Shakur's feet, Shakur's conditioning overall is prepared to move throughout the course of 12 rounds and fucking barely break a sweat. I never really see Shakur look fatigued in the ring or anything like that. So it's all wrong for him. You know what I'm saying? And just based off of this Tevin Farmer fight, bro, if y'all not getting a crazy bag off of this shit, y'all might as well just go ahead and get the fuck away from Shakur Stevenson because y'all don't stand a chance in hell. Y'all stand a chance in hell with that boy right there. You struggling with Tevin Farmer? Shakur Stevenson will fucking take you niggas to school, tuition free. Shakur University. That's what the fuck it's gonna look like. Then they gonna have a motherfucking he gonna have a stick and he gonna be instructing on the chalkboard and shit like that. He gonna teach you niggas a lesson for sure. For sure. Can Zepeda hurt Shakur, you think? Possibly. He could probably hurt Shakur with a body shot. Anything can happen in the sport of boxing. But I honestly feel like that'll be his only chance. He can, if we talking IQ, is night and day. They're levels apart. If we talking boxing ability, it's night and day. They're levels apart. Foot speed, night and day. They're levels apart. It's a different level, man. I honestly feel like based off of what I've seen tonight, he will make Zepeda look like an amateur. And there's no disrespect to Zepeda. He's an exciting fighter, but he just don't have the qualities that it takes to make Shakur Stevenson uncomfortable in the ring or give him any type of trouble. Zepeda's a typical high volume come forward pressure fighter. And I feel like you almost need to have a certain level of quickness and athleticism to really give Shakur Stevenson problems. If he gets on that bicycle and he's moving all around the ring, you have to have that foot speed. You're gonna have to have that athleticism where you're able to cut off the ring and make Shakur fight. Uh, make Shakur fight you. You see what I'm saying? Shakur gonna be dancing in that ring all motherfucking night. Zepeda ain't gonna have no way to catch up to him. It's gonna be a bad jump. You know what I'm saying? But anybody could get hurt. Anybody could get hurt. Zepeda could land a good body shot. You know, Shakur could be in the middle of a combination and Zepeda could punch in between and probably hurt Shakur. You know, it's not impossible. Anybody could get rocked. Anybody could get stopped. Anybody could get hurt. You feel what I'm saying? Upsets happen all the time, yo. It happen all the time. So, um, can it happen? Yes, but do I think it's gonna happen? No. Lorenzo said, Farmer, who is sort of washed, giving Cepeda two competitive fights, says everything. That's a fact. That's a fact. But I give kudos to Tevin Farmer, man, because they was talking about stopping the fight. He said, "Don't stop the fight." Shoulder injury, hand injury, and he still was letting his hands go like nothing was wrong with him. You see what I'm saying? So I salute him. You know what I'm saying? He did what he could with what he had, but Tevin Farmer is just not on that level. And of course, his team and himself, of course, feel like they got robbed for the second time. I honestly felt like the first fight. What y'all think? Y'all thought the first fight was more competitive or the second fight, man? Because I don't know if I was just if I was just dwelling on just being disappointed in Tevin's performance, but I felt like the first fight, he won, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I thought like I just want to hear what y'all think. The first fight, I thought Tevin could have actually got it. The second one right here, it wasn't it. It was a lack of adjustments, man. No, like did y'all motherfuckers watch film? Like, what did y'all do? Like, what was y'all preparation? I understand injuries. Where was your lateral movement? Why are you sitting in the pocket trying to trade with this man? Why do you have this idea that you could sit in the pocket and trade with him? Why do you want to fight his fight? That Earl Spence did that against Sean Porter and way harder than what it needed to be. Why can't y'all just put y'all pride to the side and just do what y'all do best and neutralize a fighter's best attribute? That's why I respect motherfuckers like Andre Ward, man, because he really wasn't into, fighting your fight or doing what you're doing in the ring. No, I'm gonna neutralize whatever the fuck you do good. I'm gonna neutralize, and then you're gonna fight me how I want you to. Like I'm gonna fight whatever fight I want to fight. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna do what I do, and I'm gonna take away your best weapon in the process, and I'm gonna dominate. You gotta respect shit like that, man. I really feel like when fighters have certain abilities that they could easily win the fight with, and then they go ahead and fight the other guy's fight. Instead, that's a lack of discipline. That's a lack of focus. That's a lack of IQ. That's a lack of inexperience in my opinion. You see what I'm saying? I don't understand that shit at all, bro. I really don't. So I'm disappointed in Tevin Farmer. I ain't gonna lie to you, but you know, it is what it is, man. What can I uh is Tevin Farmer done? I actually had seen that question. He may very possibly be. I don't see anybody at lightweight giving that man the opportunity. Lamont Roach, the hot commodity in the lightweight division, so he might get an opportunity instead of Tevin Farmer. I could just see Tevin Farmer getting fed to these up and coming contenders to see exactly where they at. Tevin still got something in the tank, so he could probably upset some people. But it's like, I think that his goal of becoming two-time world champion, I think that shit is down the drain, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? But Cepeda, if you coming up short against Cepeda back-to-back fights, even though I thought you won the first fight, you came up short in back-to-back fights. Why? How could a champion come up with a way to promote a fight against you when you haven't done what it took to get that opportunity? You see what I'm saying? And plus, you got a bad style for a lot of dudes anyway, so they're not gonna want to fight you in the first place. You losing back to back gives them more of a reason not to fight you. Simba Boxer said, "Yo, Mazuma, Norman is a problem." Let's actually get into that. Let's actually get into that because, yeah, I'm done with the Tevin Farmer and Zepeda shit. I already done broke that down. You feel what I'm saying? Brian Norman versus Derek Cuevas, man. I watched a little bit of Cuevas a couple days ago, and I was seeing how the way the dude fight, and I'm like, if Brian Norman is anything like himself, 'cause I know he had a little hand injury and shit like that. Brian Norman should be able to, put hands on that man. And shout out to Brian Norman, man. I thought he pretty much had gotten fucked over by being placed on the undercard of Michaela Mayer and Sandy Ryan. I thought that was extremely disrespectful. He's a world champion in his own right in the welterweight division. He should have got a homecoming in Atlanta, Decatur, whatever the hell he's from. But instead, he was forced to fight on a Michaela Mayer and Sandy Ryan undercard. It is what it is. So he was in there with Derek Cuevas. That's his first title defense in the welterweight division, and he didn't disappoint, man. I liked Brian Norman's speed. I liked how he was. I love the hook off the jab. I think that's a slept on tool. I think a lot of people are accustomed to seeing the right hand come after the jab, but he switched it up. He seen there was an opening because Derek Cuevas' right hand was rocking a little bit too low. He read it, like a young veteran in there. He's seeing what Derek Cuevas is doing wrong. He's making him pay for it, and he showcased great killer instinct as well. You know what I'm saying? He's seen Cuevas was hurt, and like I say all the time, if a motherfucker don't belong in there with you, you get him the fuck out, and that's exactly what Brian Norman did. You see what I'm saying? He pushed the intensity. He was letting his hands go. He looked fast. He looked strong. Brian Norman has very heavy hands. I see exactly what Brian Norman Sr. saying when he talks about how powerful his son is and shit like that. Now I don't know how that'll fare against somebody like Jerron Ennis. That's a totally different monster. But Brian Norman has heavy hands. He has good hand speed, and he put his combinations together real well. Like when he had Cuevas against the ropes and he was throwing away them bombs, very explosive. And he was doing his thing. He was doing his thing. Not really much to talk about because that shit wasn't even a sparring session. That was 3 rounds. Shit, the average sparring session at least 4. So um, he packed him up. He got him up out of there, man. With Brian Norman coming off of a little bit of inactivity and and an injury, good to see him back. That kid looks very promising. Um, and Brian Norman popping his shit, bro. He got a good little shit talking game to him. He talking about how he a grown ass man. He ain't waiting for nobody, so he gonna do whatever the fuck he gonna continue going on with his career. He called out Mario Barrios, saying Barrios somewhere hiding. We can't nobody, none of the champions can get him to step off the porch and fight. Yo, he do sound just like Roy though. It's hilarious. He got that country accent for sure. But he calling motherfuckers out. He believes in himself. He asking Eddie Hearn where the money at. So he's down to fight Jerron Ennis, but at the same time, it gotta be for a bag that he considers, sensible. You know what I mean? So we'll see how that shit goes, man. Boots, Stanionis, they rumbling in a couple, I think in 2 weeks, which I'm very excited for. You know what I'm saying? I'm very excited for that fight, and we'll see what happens after that. Hopefully, Jerron Ennis and Brian Norman could get it popping. You know what I mean? If Jerron Ennis comes out successful against Stanionis, and if Stanionis comes out with the upset, whatever the case is, hopefully we see Stanionis and Brian Norman. I'm all for unification fights, and this is heating up the welterweight division, man. You know, with Brian Norman's speed, aggression, punching power, you know, good killer instinct. I've seen him shoot some good counters as well. Uh, that'll be an interesting matchup. And listen, if Brian Norman accepts the fight, then shit, that's good for boxing. Boxing fans should be excited because, as boxing fans, we should only want to see one champion in the division. Unification should trump mandatories. I say it all the time. I said that they should have other champions be mandated to fight other champions. I think these sanctioning bodies should come together to get that shit popping. And then once we have one champion in the division, then the top contenders could, fight for their spot, fight each other for that spot, and then you know, Get it popping. I would love to see that fight. If Brian Norman accepts the fight, I'll salute him. I'll salute his father, his manager, whoever's involved, and hopefully we get to see a great fight. What can I say? I would love to see it. I want to see Boots actually become the man of the division. Everybody talking, oh, you should have moved up, move up to 54. Bro, if you could conquer the division if you don't have no trouble making the weight, and you have the opportunity to conquer a division and become undisputed before moving up, go for it. And if it's not attainable, then you move up. But as of right now, shit's working in Boo's favor. So, you know what I'm saying? Why not stick around and, make some history? Not many champions become unified, y'all. Not many champions become unified. Yeah, I mean, so great performance by Brian Norman. He did what he needed to do. He had to put out a statement. You know what I mean? To really show Top Rank and them like, yo, stop playing with me. I shouldn't be on no fucking female undercard. I'm a world champion in my own right. Put some respect on my name. You know what I'm saying? They probably salty about him beating Santillan anyway. They probably wanted Santillan to come out on top because, apparently from the West Coast, Santillan, he a big name out there in the West Coast. He sell tickets and shit like that from what I heard. So they probably a little salty about that. But regardless, congratulations to Brian Norman, and I'm looking forward to seeing him be in some significant fights at welterweight. I wouldn't mind seeing Norman and Barrios rumble. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. So Boots could be unified. You could be unified. And we could get this shit popping. I seen Jin Sasaki then came over from Japan and he had this challenger letter written out in English and don't nobody understand what the fuck he talking about. Norman looking at him like he dumb and shit. Just Sasaki out here trying to pop his shit too. He talking about he'll knock out Jaron Ennis and all these other interviews. That Japanese dude talking greasy. So, it's stirring up, man. I would like to see Blair Cobbs get in the mix too. Norman said Barrios holding the belt hostage. Yeah, like look at this, bro. Um Mario Barrios fought Abel Ramos in his last fight. And looked like dog shit. Boots was trying to get a fight with Barrios. They talking about he was gonna have a child. And then fought shortly after that against Abel Ramos. That dude Barrios been ducking his taco a little bit, bro. Like I don't think he really want any smoke. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think he want to hold that belt hostage. I agree with Brian Norman, but Norman, let's not talk too much. We ain't forget about that Jerron in the situation. Let's we ain't forget about your situation and how the way you and your team fumbled that fight. You know what I'm saying? Blair is a big risk and a little reward. There's not many. This the thing though. There's not many big rewards in the welterweight division at this time. How many stars are in the welterweight division? The biggest name at welterweight right now is Jaron Ennis, and Jaron Ennis, you know, talented, phenomenal, one of my favorite fighters. But is he at this point in his career? Is he the biggest star right now? No, he's definitely getting there. Sold some crazy tickets at the Fargo and shit like that. But he's still making his way. You know what I'm saying? So I would like to see Blair do like a title eliminator or something. Put himself in position. Yeah, people disrespecting Barrios because Barrios he ain't been living up to champion standards, bro. He looked like dog shit. He looked like dog shit, man. So that you gonna get that criticism from boxing fans. If you don't look good, the fans gonna let you know. That's just how the way this sport's set up. They saying Tiger Johnson ready for Barrios. That's hilarious. Tiger still got some room to grow. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. They said this was his 147 debut and shit like that. So let's see what that man cook up. That's funny though. Tiger looks better at 47. That's cool, but who did he look better against though? Like who is that? This the thing. Like if a motherfucker move up in weight and they fighting a straight turkey, there's no way for you to really assess how much better they look in the division. We won't really get a sense of how much better they got moving up in weight until they fight a credible opponent. In my opinion, did I see the mayor fight? Nah, I ain't gonna lie to you. I really wasn't interested in that fight. You know, I seen they got a little drama with their teams, and they don't like each other. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. But I really wasn't interested in that fight at all. I heard Michaela won, so congratulations to her. But I just wanted to watch Brian Norman. I watched Shushu. I watched Shushu, and I saw I like what I saw from Shushu too. You know what I'm saying? Because he had a little iffy bout against Sagawa and shit like that, and then the bout after that, I wasn't really too impressed in my opinion. And since then he been popping his shit, calling out these champions, and then we seen him on the scale, and he looked like one of them niggas from Haiti that you give 50 cents a month to, and he could get a little rice bowl and shit like that. Like that's how the way Bruce Carrington looked to me. I was like, yo, that nigga needs some vitamin energy. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the brand. Shout out to one of my companies that's been supporting. You know what I'm saying? Looked like Bruce Carrington was needing that on some real shit. Uh, dude got a little bit greedy against Bruce Carrington. Bruce Carrington still relaxed against the ropes. He was punching in between dude's shots, threw a right hook. He threw a series of punches. Rock dude put him down. The referee continued to let the bout go on, and Bruce Carrington was hitting him with some mean headshots. The type of headshots that can really do some damage to you uh, up top. You see what I'm saying? So I was getting kind of concerned. The dude legs wasn't holding up. He looked like he was on Queer Street, drunk as hell. And the referee, for some reason, was still leaving some hope out there, for this dude. And I was just glad that, eventually, you know, uh, he waved the white flag. He actually stopped the fight, for that guy to, preserve his health because it was way too many big shots being landed. And, the type of will really be killing these fighters and will really be causing neurological damage and stuff is when they don't go down. When, that their opponent doesn't hit hard enough to necessarily put them out cold, and they continue to take the punches, and that just builds up more and more damage up top, and then that's how these guys get hemorrhages and brain swellings, and we don't really want to see that. They say on average 13 people a year die in the boxing ring, so I don't know, and I've seen it happen, on live television multiple times, and I just didn't want to see that again. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if Bruce Carrington could really deal with the fact that he might have hurt somebody, fatally in the ring. So I'm glad they was able to stop that. I'm glad they was able to stop that. But Bruce Carrington, he calling people out. He popping his shit, man. He calling out the champions of the division. I like it. Rafael Espinoza was one of the guys, which I think that's a fight that's actually possible since they're both with top rank, from what understand. Uh, of course, Stephen Fulton, who's the WBC champion right now, he called him out. Being from Philly, I would love to see a Brooklyn versus Philly matchup. Why not? You know what I'm saying? And then he also called out Nick Ball. Nick Ball, just came off of a victory not too long ago, and he's a rough, rugged, come forward pressure fighter with a little bit of boxing intelligence as well. So that could be a good fight for Bruce Carrington to really see where he's at. He's been in the amateurs for a long time, and the kid's 27 years old, and this is his time to, really show the world that he's of that, level. Is Brooklyn versus Philly a thing, or it's just a sell a fight? Um, I don't think it's necessarily a thing. I ain't gonna lie to you. I never really heard too much about it. Y'all could correct me if I'm wrong. I don't really recall any Brooklyn versus Philly rivalries. So especially in boxing, I can't really call it. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. I don't really know. The only Philly versus Brooklyn rivalry that I know is Will Smith versus Chris Rock. Pa! What's Philly? Slap the dog shit out of that Brooklyn boy. You know what I'm saying? That's the only one I know. But I don't really think that's a thing. I ain't never really heard too much about it besides Will Smith and Chris Rock. You know what I'm saying? Chris Rock got hit. Boom! He's like, oh wow. You know what I'm saying? But that's about it. Will Smith slapped the dog shit. And listen, I ain't even right. I stopped fucking with Will Smith after that. I thought that was cornball shit. You know what I'm saying? Because first of all, Chris Rock a comedian. He don't mean no harm. Um, and second of all, bro, if y'all been watching Chris Rock, the nigga been getting bullied his whole life, so you know he not about that shit. He ain't gonna fight you back. Like he ain't gonna respond. He ain't gonna retaliate. What you going? It's almost like you bullying the nigga. You feel me? You gonna take your little ones to the park. Salute to Lorenzo, man. Go do your thing, brother. Much love. Shout out to the real fathers out there. How you get slapped and do nothing, bro? Some niggas it's not in their DNA to respond, bro. Not everybody built like that. There's people who are naturally like, non-violent, pacifists. Like they will not engage in physicality. Like they will not get violent with you. And Chris Rock has why I'm not laughing at Chris Rock. Chris Rock has never portrayed himself to be tough. Never. You know what I'm saying? I never seen Chris Rock act tough. I never heard him say he'll whoop somebody. He's not cut like that. He's just a funny nigga that he's an all-time great comedian. He like to tell jokes. And that's what he was on that stage to do. To lighten up the mood, be like the what they call that shit? The comedy, like the comedian, the relief, whatever the hell you want to call him. The comedic relief or whatever it is. Um, that's what he there for. And he crack a joke and he gets smacked for it because Will Smith pussy ass having trouble with his wife and his wife over here fucking on these young niggas and he don't know how to satisfy his wife. And every time he do something for his wife, all she do is disrespect him and talk about Pac. You slapped him because you going through shit at home. You was a suck ass nigga. I don't fuck with Will Smith at all. On some real shit. Oh my god. First of all, how the way I seen that nigga walking up, I'd have gotten my stance immediately. Cause what the fuck are you doing up here? You ain't accepting no award yet, nigga. So you coming up to me, I'm taking that as you about to try something. You in there laying that goofy shit. I'd have pulled countered the shit out of Will Smith, had that nigga on noodle legs up there. He'd have threw that bullshit ass slap. Nah, we gonna pull and we gonna shoot that right hand right down the pipe, knock Will Smith shit loose. Or I probably would have. I ain't gonna lie to you. I probably would have dipped that John and charged him, just scooped him, dumped him on his head, bang, right on that hard ass stage. Yeah, Will was laughing then when Jada gave him like the side eye and shit. He's like, I gotta do something. I gotta do something. I don't want to get cursed out at home. Suck ass nigga. Just another nigga who get controlled by that wifey on the red. Happy wife, happy life. I'm miserable, but as long as she's happy, one of them type niggas, suck ass niggas. Yo man, if y'all ain't happy in your relationship and your whole purpose in your relationship is just to keep her happy, while sacrificing your own happiness, man, get the fuck out the frame, nigga. Get the fuck out of that, nigga. Run. Happy wife, happy life. The fuck out of there, nigga. A happy man is God's plan. How about that? I thought Rolly interview was today. It was supposed to be today, y'all. I ain't even gonna lie to you, but I done went through some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I got my fucking car got vandalized, bro. Somebody completely knocked both of my mirrors off of my car, broke my windshield wipers, all that bullshit, man. So that kind of threw me for a loop for the day. And I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't even gonna come on live today. You feel me? I wasn't gonna come on live today, but I feel like I owed it to y'all because we had some good boxing going on, and I just wanted to chop it up with y'all. You feel me? But yeah, I had somebody completely vandalize my car, got the videos and shit like that. Niggas I don't even know. They might have been drunk coming out that bar. I don't know. I don't know. It make me feel like I'm being targeted. I can't prove it, but it seemed like it was pretty personal to me because they only approached my car. There's a lot of cars on the block. They went specifically towards my car. They didn't destroy any other cars and they left. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what's going on. I don't know why niggas is fucking with me. Agent, somebody had broke my window. It was a little kid. It was a little like 14, 15-year old that did it. I think he was trying to steal my car. And when he broke one of the windows and he was getting like eyes set on him, he got scared and he ran away type shit. So that was different. This right here was a group of individuals that I never seen in my life. And it's like, I don't know y'all niggas. Y'all niggas don't know me. So it's impossible for you to have something against me or dislike me. I don't know me. So it was either they were sent to do that or they just did that maliciously. Like they just any meeny miny mode a car, like randomly selected a car and just fucked it up. And I just happened to be the one that fell victim to that situation. Um, but it's all right because the day that I find out who did that, niggas is gonna bleed behind that, and that's on my son. So I'm sick of letting shit slide. Motherfuckers taking my kindness for weakness, bro. I've been laying low since I've had my son. I haven't been doing anything to put myself or my freedom in jeopardy. But niggas gotta pay for this, bro. Like y'all niggas just gonna keep doing shit thinking I'm not gonna retaliate. And there's been some people that's Philly, they like to stay tight lipped. People like to mind their business and not really speak on shit. But you know, I'm gonna just trust God with this one, man. Like I do all the time. So yeah, man. I don't know if I'll ever know, bro. And on some real shit, I got the majority. I already got a majority of that shit fixed already. So I ain't really tripping. You know what I mean? I just gotta wait for these mirrors to come in. I already done fixed the windshield wipers. Um, but a part of me really don't want to find out because I know what I'm gonna do when I do find out. You know what I mean? And that's like baby mom shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what baby moms do when they mad at their baby dad. Like they just go and fuck the car up. Y'all niggas ain't trying to steal the car or nothing. Y'all pussy ass niggas waited until 2 in the morning while everybody's sleeping, nobody acted to go ahead and fuck somebody's car up. Ain't had a heart to do that shit in front of nobody. Why y'all just ain't just try to stroll me? Why y'all just ain't do that? Like if I got something against me personally, and this was like planned, this was plotted, whatever. Why y'all niggas ain't just try to stroll me? Y'all would end up getting shot. Somebody probably would have died behind that shit, but that would have been the more courageous thing to do. Still pussy, but that would have been the more courageous thing to do. You feel me? So um it is what it is. I can't control what broke niggas do. I can't control what miserable niggas do. Uh, Time will tell, man. I already had a few people talk to me and say, they said being back there. I ain't gonna make those assumptions, bro. I've never seen her do anything like this, so I'm not even gonna jump to those conclusions. Um, but there's little people saying that this person, it might be this person, so niggas ain't talking, but people leaving some hints out there at the same time. So We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. You said farmer deserves respect. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I don't want y'all to take what I'm saying about Tevin Farmer as disrespect. I just didn't like his approach, and I thought that, he pretty much did, and I thought he did like a worse uh version of what he did in the first. Like the shit that he did wrong in the first fight, you thought he would have switched up and just completely avoided overall. He resorted to the same tactics, sitting in the pocket with Zepeda, waiting way too long, and refusing to, being inconsistent with his lateral movement. Head up though, yeah, I'm chilling, bro. I'm chilling, bro. Listen, and this the thing too. Like I don't really give a fuck about that car. It's a hoopty, right? It get me from A to B. You feel me? And when I get that new car, trust me, I'm not gonna be in the hood no more. But I'm not really attached to that car, so I didn't really feel a way about it. 'Cause I just not. I don't really fuck with the car. But like, it just triggered me like how pussy motherfuckers is and how they'll do anything to try to disrespect you or get a reaction out of you. It's like when you always got something good going on and God on your side type shit. It always seem like some negative or evil shit comes into the mix to try to throw you off of your square. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna tell y'all niggas something, man. And it's something that I've learned just tuning in with spirituality and shit like that. Karma is very real. A lot of people seem to forget about the all the the people always remember the good karma they received and shit like that, but they always the fuck. Nobody ever remembers the bad stuff that they did to receive bad karma, but they always remember the good things they did to receive the good karma. And the universe is always going to find a way to give you that bad karma. It's always gonna pay you in a good way, and it's always gonna come to collect. That's how the way this universe works. You feel what I'm saying? Um, you could do something bad in 2003 and not receive that bad karma until 2013 or 2020. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna chalk this up to just bad karma on my end. I'm grateful. I'm blessed by God. Anyway, um, I'm just learning to stay appreciative even through the negative times. You feel me? Because a lot of people only show love to God when they got good things going on. You know what I'm saying? I've learned to, even in my downtime, still be grateful for God and my surroundings and shit like that. Because if you only thanking God during your good times, how strong is your connection with that? With God. You feel me? So that's just how the way the universe works. Uh, Good karma's gonna come, bad karma's gonna come, but regardless, we're gonna keep this shit moving and keep doing what we doing. You feel me? So I hope everybody has a blessed, beautiful night. I appreciate everybody that tuned in on the live. I'm gonna give me some rest because I had a tough night, man. So I mean a tough day. Hopefully tomorrow gets a little bit better. Y'all have a blessed, beautiful night. I'm out of here, man. Peace.